You in, Cess? Did I
Yep,
put you
I'm
in?
in. What's going on? Good evening.
What's up? We have
Thank you for having me.
entered.
What's going on? I am here for the champion mentality. What's good? Thank you for having Cess Talks Sports. Talk to me, Coach.
Yeah, one moment.
Yeah, take your time.
Yeah, we love you, talk. We love you. We're glad you're here. One, I'm just coming down off of just a championship week. First, it's a champion mentality. You have entered the champion mentality where you be great in your preparation, become excellent in your performance. Before we get into our topics for today, we have Cess Talks, our favorite auntie, and I'm gonna let her say her line for it. I love it's her favorite auntie with what, Cess?
With Uncle Tendencies. What's good? What's
Yes.
good?
We want to say we appreciate you for being a pioneer on this YouTube influence for women's basketball, women's sports, and being true to being a true fan and really just highlighting keeping the main thing, the performance of the young lady. So just wanted to hats off and congratulate you. Say give you your verbal respect while I can. Here's the thing: was there anything that we wanted to review before we jump into what our topic was? Because I'm just so excited to have you. Because you and I usually do a great job of talking hoops. So, was there anything you wanted to review from this past weekend before we jump into our list?
No, right now, I'm still just celebrating being a Gamecock right now. RC, I see you in the building. Appreciate that. Respect. Salute. Thank y'all, fam, for joining in. And I'm here. This your world. So I'm here. I'm here just as a guest. So I'm gonna answer as many questions as I can and see where this goes.
All right, so here we're gonna go. We're gonna get into this coaching carousel, ladies and gentlemen. We have the coaches as the coach's turn, right? I think. See, that's why I think, ladies and gentlemen, people, family. I think the great thing about the NIL, if coaches can jump around, then the players have to have some room to move around too and not get stuck. So I think that's the great thing about the changes. So let's talk about it. We're gonna go to the Mountain West. We have Air Force Chris Gobrecht, Gobrecht. Chris Gobrecht, he retired. As we already know, you did a great. And then when we get to the Pac-12, what used to be the Pac-12 is no more. Tara Vanderveer, she has moved on. But you kind of see that was coming because I don't think she was willing to travel east to west in that ACC kind of situation. So at the season,
I don't think that's it.
You think it's the NIL too? What do you think is with Tara?
Huh? I think that there's a WNBA team coming to the Bay Area, and they're gonna have Tara Vanderveer's.
Is she gonna be on the bench?
I don't know if she's gonna be on the bench, but I think that they'll have her around as they build this thing out. Right, this is a great basketball mind that you have right there in the Bay Area. She's been touting a lot. She's been scouting a lot of the talent that's gonna be getting ready to come into the WNBA. They announced that they wanted to be able to, of course, win a championship within the first 5 years of being able to establish themselves. So I just thought it was a great time for Tara to step down. It was a little surprising. Nobody had been expecting it. You still have Kiki there, so there's still an opportunity to build some talent at Stanford. The talent is going to come, but I just felt like, wow, as we're getting closer to coming into this first season of whatever this WNBA team is going to be right there in San Francisco, that maybe Tara Vanderveer will be like some type of consultant,
right?
Probably not a general manager, somebody that sits on the board, something like that. Ashley Knuckles, appreciate y'all for checking in. Spoiled Brat was good. So yeah, that was what I kind of thought that maybe there's an opportunity that Tara Vanderveer is going to be doing some stuff with the WNBA, and it was more about that than it was about NIL or anything like that. You know what I mean? It was just like, hey, why not snatch this basketball mind up for this organization?
Okay, and we'll keep our eye on that and see where Tara.
So that's my hot take.
I like that. That's a good plot twist.
That's my hot take right there.
That is a good plot twist. Appreciate that. So we're gonna move on to the SWAC, where your stomping grounds there, Arkansas Pine Bluff. We have Dawn Thornton. He leaves to take a job at Alabama A&M.
Okay.
So now we go to women's program at Binghamton. Bethan Shapiro, she is just out. She did 6 seasons and they parted ways with her. Right.
The fam is saying the word is out that Kiki may be entering the portal.
No, it happened though. Kiki, you talking about from
Kiki.
Stanford?
Yeah, I think they're talking about Kiki.
Kiki from Stanford.
Yeah, I
think that's what the fam saying.
I think that's what they're saying.
Yeah, no, I said there's speculation she's supposed to be in the portal. That's why I call it portal combat. You got to get in.
Yeah, I mean, I've been watching that. I got a list up. I'm trying to keep it up.
Yeah. Okay, so Kiki is in the portal. So we go to Bingham, the American East Conference. Bethany Shapiro, she's out. We go to the Big West. We go to Big Kent West Women's Program. There, UC Santa Barbara, Bonnie Hendrickson. She retires after the season. Cal State Bakersfield, Greg McCall, he's out. That's Big West. Another Big West Cal State school, Cal State Northridge. Carlene Mitchell, she's out. Now we'll go back East Coast, Mid-Atlantic Athletic Conference, MWAC. Sahar Nosabai, she leaves Canisius, that's out of New York, that college in New York.
Okay.
And she takes the job in Eastern Michigan.
Oh wow, okay. Coming to Eastern Michigan. None of those jobs really jump out as like blockbuster jobs. You know what I mean? Right now, where I think like where it's gonna be bringing any big names in. I think maybe we'll get some some new blood in. Maybe some people come up from some smaller schools, some SWAC schools, maybe to some of these next level up schools, but no real big coaching jobs out there that I think make a big deal right now.
Well, let's talk about Megan Duffy. She was at Marquette, got him in the dance, and then she goes to Tech. Do you think that's a good hire, going to Virginia Tech from Marquette?
I think I don't know much about her coming from Marquette. I think that Marquette has been a pretty standard basketball program. They haven't done really anything really big in a while. I think that the move may give her some more resources. That's the thing that I think is the biggest deal about the coaching moves. Are they putting themselves in situations where they have more resources, more NIL, where they can compete a little bit more for talent out here? Because I think that's what it's coming down to. They say, when the kids pick up the phone, it's like it's all about the playing time and the money. Like how much playing time and how much money am I getting? And so if that's the name of the game, then you got to be where the pockets is the deepest. And so I think they're running away from these smaller programs into some of these bigger programs.
But so here's the thing: some of these mid-major coaches, can they transition and be effective at a Power 5, quote unquote Power 5 program school? Do you think of any cases where somebody made the move up? Yeah, if you go back in men's, Bruce Pearl, yes. Go back in the past, Vivian Stringer went from Cheney State to Iowa to Rutgers.
Probably see Vivian Stringer. It does. I don't think that really happens. I don't think that happens a lot in the women's game. I think in the women's game so much we pretty much seen it kind of like what's the the coaches kind of stay in place for there. You haven't seen a lot of coaches moving around.
Right.
I mean, you look at a situation like Dawn. I don't think there's a chance that she's really looking to leave South Carolina, right?
Right.
But you look at a place like Rocky Top. Since Pat Summitt left, it's been like a carousel there, right? And so is it the pressure of filling Pat Summitt's shoes? Is it a combination of filling that pressure and also trying to be able to recruit talent in there? I mean, to me, they don't use enough of Tennessee, especially doesn't use enough of the living legends that they have around. You know what I mean? So like UConn, you see their living legends everywhere. Stewie, Diana, Sue Bird. Shamiko Osco, I can't think of the last time I seen Shamiko. I think I just seen her in a commercial. I take that back. I want to say that I just saw her like in a pickup game commercial recently. And then, Candace, what did she do? Yeah, Kelly trying, Tamika catching. So it's just like, how do they use the talent that's out there?
Right. So TD said Duffy at VT will have an issue recruiting. I agree because she doesn't carry that. That's a great point. TD, because she won't have that weight. She hasn't really established herself in a major circuit, so I can see that being a challenge. And then I don't think their facilities is as great. I
mean, besides the big schools, does anybody have any real great facilities? Like,
no, not really. You're right.
You know what I mean? But so, and the other thing that I thought was interesting I don't know if you follow football, but the other thing,
Yeah.
Is it Shalimar Sanders? Am I saying her name right? So she's in the transfer portal.
Right.
And so I want to know how much is this an indication that Dion will be in the transfer portal soon? Is Dion unhappy at Colorado? And so I've been hearing some stuff about Dion not being so happy necessarily with some of the recreational activities that go on in the Colorado area, Boulder.
Right.
It's kind of getting to him a little bit. Like he said, he never been high, but he been almost based on how he's been moved around in Boulder. And so I'm wondering, are we thinking that Dion is maybe not going to be in Colorado? Is she giving us a hint there, or am I reaching?
Okay. Yeah. That's a great point. I think that's a great point. But as we talk in major programs, let's look at you and Coach Rowe were talking about. Let's look at that Kim Caldwell hire.
Okay.
She's a Division II. She played Division II basketball at Glenville State, West Virginia. She's the West Virginia, Tennessee area, and a little bit about her here. Let's see, and let's look at here. She played at Glenville State 2007-11. She was assistant coach in the Ohio Valley Conference.
Mm-hmm.
And she was assistant coach at Sacramento State.
Mm-hmm.
She was at Glenville State, and then she did the stint at Marshall, where she had to turn around. What my take, I will share with this. I feel like they didn't get what they want, and this could be you go young, connect with the players, see what they can do. They have the energy, but I really, between you and me, fam, I really feel like they wanted Karen Lawson, but it just wasn't working. They're trying to buy some time to see if they can bring her back in this, because I don't see Kim Caldwell sticking as long as she intends to. I think the job gets a little steeper than what she think it is.
I think what I like about her is that she's coming in knowing that she can't be Pat Summitt. I like the statement that she made about being able to try to come in and be somebody that makes Pat proud. And the basis of her program being about playing hard and working hard. I think she's gonna have to start there. I'm not convinced that she can get any talent in there. Right. So we're gonna that's yet to be seen. I think with her coming in, a lot of the talent left. Rakia's gone. Tamari Key's retired. I think Spears is still there. I think Spears coming back, I believe. Help me out if I'm wrong. I think Spears back, but it's yet to be proven if she's gonna be able to actually bring some talent in there. So I'm waiting on my judgment on Kim Caldwell right now.
Okay.
See if she's able to bring some talent in, what the recruiting looks like, and then how she's able to build. What I do hope for her, and what I will say is that I hope that they'll give her an opportunity to build, like they gave Kelly Harper 5 years. With the way the NIL is moving talent around, I just don't know at this stage if she would have 5 years to be able to build. And so now she's going to have to really be able to get into the portal and bring some talent in, and then try to match that with something. But start with hard work and try to make Pat Summitt proud. You can't go wrong there.
Right. We see some comments about the portal. We're about to get to the portal combat. We call that because you got to fight for your life to make sure you get out of there. So that's why I call it the portal combat.
Absolutely.
But here's the thing, Georgetown, the head coach Tasha Butts passed away from breast cancer. She an assistant coach stepped in, and he was the interim coach, and then they took the interim tag off, and now he's the permanent head coach going into the 2024-25 season. So I think that's hats off, because no one really expected him to be. It's a weak Big East. What do you think? I mean, the Big East needs to do to have some relevance or put some more respect on their name? What do you think needs to happen with the Big East women's basketball?
They're going to have to go out and beat some big names. They're going to have to go out and knock down some big names. You're going to have to be able to knock down some South Carolina. You got to knock down some LSUs. You got to be able to knock down some, not Iowa right now, but UConn. I don't know what Iowa will look like next year. Not a knock on them, but just like you got to be able to knock down some of these big names. What I did like about them was that at the end of the year, it seemed like they were playing hard for him. It seemed like he had found a groove with that team. So I'm glad he's going to be able to kind of continue to grow there coming in after Tasha Butts. That was, I think, kind of devastating for them at the beginning of the season, especially with some of those ladies, especially coming in to play for Tasha, to have her have her pass away, and then for them to still go on and play and almost I think make some headway in the tournament. Hats off to them. But
right.
I'll give him some time to see kind of where he builds from now. I try to give people a couple seasons, Coach. I try to give them a couple seasons to see what they're able to come in and build.
I think the challenge with the SEC is the Gamecock effect or the Dawn Staley effect. I also feel that's what has influence as we're going to shift here. We see a lot of portal talk in our comments here. I think that's what having an impact on. What's your thoughts on this, Cess? You have all this jumping in portal. You feel like people are trying to juggle around and build a team to take down South Carolina. I mean, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Well, the thing is though, hers is built more organically and from her secret sauce versus I just feel like all this jumping around in portal and trying to add, people trying to come up with, megastar teams maybe to try to compete against South Carolina women's basketball.
Well, I think I kind of talked about it yesterday on the live. Was it yesterday? No, I don't even remember. But on the last live, I think I talked about how I think it was Emmanuel Acho was saying how Dawn's what's at South Carolina was built. She put it in the oven and baked it in a microwave era, and so you can't go microwave something and have her, whether you got her secret sauce or not, you're not going to be able to have her success. Right. I think the difference, and I think what people don't give Dawn enough credit for is like, it's not a secret sauce, right? It's like it's a way of life. Like the standard is the standard. When she says that, like she really means that. That's something that they live by. You hear her talking about being thankful to God. You hear the team talking about being thankful to God. I think they're very spiritual. I think they're very family oriented, and that doesn't come easily. Like that comes from being willing to have hard conversations. That comes from willing to be able to understand that sisters fight sometimes. That and being able to still come back and be willing. And so it takes buy-in from everybody. And in order to get that buy-in, it was kind of like what Dawn was talking about, is like being able to go undefeated this season, and then finish with the national championship builds the trust that she needs now to go into the summer to ask for that extra hard work, to ask them to run that extra mile, to ask them to do that extra lift, to ask them to come to that extra practice, because it's proven now. You can trust me that if you do this is kind of how it ends. And I don't know that there are a lot of other coaches that are going to be able to get that type of buy-in or trust, especially not for somebody that you just bring in out of the portal. Like my legend for Wiley, she's been talking to her since she was in the 6th grade. Chloe Kitts, I don't know how early that was, but I think it was at least back like 9th, 10th grade. Right. She's building relationships not only with these kids, but then to take the time to get to know their parents, and then their auntie and their cousin and their brother and somebody else that might almost have something to do with where they might be going in their career, kind of being, as being part of this family she's building. It says a great deal about how she is, how committed she is and how giving she is. And I just don't know that you get that from other coaches. Right. I do see like Nail Ivy, Coach Ivy at Notre Dame building something that I think is special. I don't know that it's in the same manner that Dawn is building hers, but I think that she's building something that'll be organic and successful. I think Kara Lawson is building something that'll be organic and successful. Coach Yo, I thought now, with this coaching hire and all this, I haven't had a chance to. Yeah. I haven't had a chance to really take a deep dive. I don't know. How much that hire shook her foundation. I'm waiting to see that. But there are some coaches that I think are really, even is that Gottlieb at USC? I'm interested to see how she continues to build with Juju. So, there's some coaches out there that are doing some things that I think as the years go on, they'll start to stack wins on top of wins and trust on top of trust to be able to have some real rival programs. I think Geno has that. I mean, whether you like Geno or not, right?
So how much longer does Geno stay?
Geno is probably there as long as Sarah's there.
Okay. You don't think he's
You know,
done after Page?
well, initially I thought he was done after Paige, but there's no way. If I'm Gino, there's no way that I let a talent like Sarah come in and I start with her, and then I'm like, I'm done.
Right,
Like,
right.
you know, with the talent that'll be there around Sarah Strong, the game that she has, you know, I think, you know, she's a generational talent. You can build around her. We wanted her in South Carolina. We didn't get her, but you know, I don't think for Gino, unless it would be something like where something maybe changed health wise, or
right,
he just couldn't take it. Like Gino is Gino. It's gonna be Gino's way.
right.
NIL or not, you go come in and you gonna do it the Husky way. So
Okay, we have got a few comments here. Teddy said Power Four since the Pac-12 is packing it up. He said it'll be the Power Four for now. You are correct.
yeah, Power Four, absolutely.
Political Lil, Kiki on the clock. Isn't she the portal? The portal has
Kiki is on the clock.
Is the portal date is we're about to transition to that because everybody has a lot of hot takes here in the portal. Portal closes in May. Good job. TD talking about Duffy and VT will have issues recruiting. I agree with you. Robbie Fung, Megan Duffy at VTech, he thinks he's a really good coach. She's one of the few programs in the Big East that has given UConn a run for their money. So run for the money, but didn't get the money. So I get it.
Well,
but,
I mean,
but she got out of the Big East because she can get players there, right, at the program.
Yeah, but and then I think Vitek's issue was totally different. That was Kitley. Like they have a different situation. If Kitley is healthy, I think they look different in the tournament with Kitley to me. So that was just unfortunate. That happened to them at that time.
Right. Shannon Sharp, his brother Sterling from Green Bay, South Carolina alumni.
Oh yeah, we talked about that. Sterling, legend. Yeah, legend. I hate that he had that the neck injury that took him out.
Right.
He would have been a Hall of Famer.
Teddy hit us with Harper's days was numbered after Killer Cam hit the 3-point shot, 1.1 seconds.
Yeah, I thought she had redeemed herself, but the fam said no.
Then Tennessee should have beaten NC State. I agree with them. I thought they had a little bit more put together to kind of try to seal the deal. It was a very competitive game, but I don't know. In Political Lil, if you're not hot on the recruiting trail, you can't get talent. That is a must. Correct. You got to be present. You got to be present as a head coach and not just an assistant coach. Dwayne Wicker says Tennessee's new coach is fast-paced, fun and gun, should be attractive to recruit to that, attract recruits to that. That's a possibility. I just don't know if she's a strong enough household name right now to transition to that. That's just my concern. You know what I mean? Cess, like, or does her youth is on her time is on her side? So does Kim Caldwell youth in the business, does that sell her and connect with the players? We'll see. There's some things.
I mean, it's Rocky Top. She got to win.
Right.
It's Rocky Top. She got to win. Like she's the fourth coach in 50 years.
Right.
There's a standard there, and so like she's got to win, or she gonna get the hook. I don't know how long the hook's gonna be, but
right.
Like I said, whether she's fast paced or not, I don't even think it matters if it's a household name at this point. It's about being able to win. Like Tennessee is, it's been a long time since they've been in the conversation, and I feel like they thought they had an opportunity with Rakia coming there, and with her injuries and other stuff that went on, it was just kind of like a wasted 2 seasons, which is unfortunate. But like at this point, Tennessee's got to win. UConn is back in the hunt. South Carolina's now, we are a dynasty officially. So you got UConn, you got South Carolina, you got LSU who's been there, and we're not talking about Tennessee anymore. And so I'm sure that the alumni and the boosters are ready to get some wins there, at least some Final Four appearances.
Right. No, you totally correct. But I think it's going to be a challenge finding that formula. Just
I think for her, she's got to come out of the portal with some players. She's got to come out of the portal with some players who can who are veterans. She's not going to be able to bring in any recruits, not any freshmen. I don't think. I think any most of the freshmen that are
already
talents are they locked up.
yeah, they're already committed. Yeah,
someplace, and maybe she can go overseas and bring some talent. I don't know if there's another Camila Cardoso over in Brazil. Right. She's gonna have to really be creative and think outside the box for how she puts together this team to be able to be competitive, kind of like immediately next season. And that so Tennessee was already like what? Were they 3 or 4 in the SEC behind South Carolina and Texas? Yeah, so now you bring between South Carolina and LSU. I'm sorry, now
Oklahoma and Texas are coming in.
You bring in Oklahoma, you bring in the Texas, and now Tennessee. You still are trying to stay here, and you got other teams in the SEC trying to make moves. So she's gonna have to come in with some dynamic moves out of the portal. So like she needs to really be talking to kids right now.
Yeah, I think. You're 100% correct. Talking about portal, Robbie Fung mentioned Big East is in trouble because of the portal. DePaul lost Morrow. Great point, Robbie. Villanova just lost Olsen. It's actually 2 left. Came out today. Two transferred. 2 jumped in the portal.
Oh, 2 more. Okay. Wow. Okay.
From that, and Olsen, she was the number 3 scorer in the nation. Duffy going to Vatech, and her players are following her. I mean, that's what you want. You want to take your top players, and because they can play anywhere. It doesn't matter if it's mid-major. Because if you can play, they will find you, right? So, I'm sure their talents will translate to Vatech. We're talking about recruiting here. Teddy says, I think teams are trying to get depth and to game plan for injuries. South Carolina didn't have a major injury or any adversity this season. That's kind of rare. Well, they played through injuries. It just wasn't extensive, where it was putting them out. I think they're just more keep it internal what they're dealing with if it's not sidelining them. TD says Kim Caldwell said is bring her Marshall style of play to Tennessee, press and shoot threes. That will not work in the SEC. Ask Arkansas. Great point. Great. That's a great point. That's a great point, T. Flex Vlogs Dawn wasn't just out recruiting random people. They don't fit her system just because they ranked high. That's correct. It's a purpose. Recruiting with a purpose. Teddy A, I argue with another LSU fan about Dawn not getting players like Angel Reese because she wouldn't have allowed that to happen on her watch. You think? Again, I think it goes back to the common word. Standard is the standard. Not playing a lot of minutes intentionally, and then everyone's still shining and being successful. So I do agree with you. Kai says Kim Mulkey is an example of how you can't just be picking all crazy, all nilly-willy, as they used to say, left or right, out the portal. Just you get a player, you get a player, you get a player, right? Left and right out the portal, hoping to build this five-star restaurant meal. So Kai had a good point about Kim Mulkey. You just can't be you get a player, you get just pick and like a buffet. You have to have a purpose. You have to be intentional. You got to, but every coach is different. Every coach's personality. And then Kai says, you just can't buy chemistry. All coaches don't do the best of developing jobs. That is so true. It's true. Coaching comes from the heart, comes from the soul, and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it comes because coaches coach for the bag. That's the reality. All coaches have different purposes why they coach. Let's be honest.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what it is. Spoiled brat. Dawn didn't get Angel because LSU was offering something that SC couldn't. I think again, it's back to what you said, Cess. It fit her brand. That situation fit her brand, fit where she was at, fit what she needed to get done. She didn't go there, she wouldn't have been a national champion. It was just meant for her for that to happen for her.
At that point when she was in the portal for sure. LSU was probably better for her brand and what she wanted to be. Angel is very she's a star in her own right, for lack of a better way to say it. Like she is a brand in her own right, and then South Carolina is more of a brand, right? That has different branches to it. Angel is her own brand. Now I think had Angel came out of high school into South Carolina and been willing to wait her turn and do the work, then we get a different Angel Reese. But I don't want Angel to be any different than what she is, because the clash between Angel and Caitlin, they tend to leave Angel out of that equation. Is kind of what helped put the eyes on. Like, if Angel doesn't say you can't see me, nobody's feelings are hurt for Caitlin. Right? Nobody's feelings are hurt for her. So, I'm glad that it went for Angel the way that it went. You know what I mean? It was meant to be that way. But I think had she come into, South Carolina, straight out of high school, I think she would be much further along in her development. But I also think that Angel has made some good decisions for her brand. Young lady's leaving. She's leaving college a millionaire, and she'll be able to, continue to work on her game and grow her game. So
that's great. Spoiled Brat says last year 9 new pieces on LSU got it done. This year was too many egos, but I feel like that will be going this upcoming season with LSU.
I don't know. I think their attitude is going to reflect the leadership. If Kim is still the dominant leader, then I think you'll get much of what you got this year. Now, if she's able to take a step back and allow Flau'jae to step in, or Morrow, if that's who you want, I prefer a Flau'jae. If you allow one of your players to actually step in and be the face of the team and be the focal point of the team, because I think sometimes I felt like Kim, she was almost competing with Angel in a way, right? Like, she has to be the biggest thing at LSU, but if she's able to take a step back, like, Dawn gets her due, but we talk about Dawn, but Dawn never is the one that's trying to take the spotlight. She's always pushing her players up towards the spotlight. And so if Kim takes a step back and maybe lets a Flau'jae really take the leadership and kind of shape the team and kind of be the face of the team, then I think you may be able to get a different kind of brand of basketball out of them. But right now it's very individual. But if she allows them to connect, I think sometimes some of the stuff she does keeps them spread out instead of like a fist, right? I think that sometimes she pits them against each other instead of getting them to hold each other accountable and work together, which is, I think, kind of what Dawn does. And so maybe those are some of the things that I just kind of don't agree with Kim. I feel like it's more of an unhealthy competition between her players than the healthy competition that you get, I think, at South Carolina.
Great. Yeah. Those of you fam, thank you for entering the champion mentality, where we be great in our preparation, become excellent in performance. Don't forget to hit that like for me, liking both, I think, on Cess channel, on my channel, and hit that sub. And we bring nothing but the best in moving women's sports and women's basketball forward. Talking about the portal. Cess, can you believe it? Up to date today, we have 1,074 basketball players in the portal.
Yeah, I'm excited and concerned. And concerned. So I did a deep dive about the portal that I got coming out later today.
Okay.
And one of the things that I found out is that, like, in 2022, the NCAA reported that 43% of the players that went in the portal were still active when the next season rolled around, meaning they were still looking for opportunity. They had transferred out, from an NCAA institution, or had left their sport altogether. And so, potentially, almost 500 or so players might be still active in the portal. And so what does that mean? It makes me sad that 500 people could not be playing basketball next year that were playing basketball this year.
Right.
So while I think it's been a really cool thing especially for women's basketball, because it's allowed teams to kind of restructure and retool and re-strategize. I was out here willy-nilly for real telling these kids get in the portal, and they might not need to listen to Hunty right away. You might need to sit on that bench and get your education, because I don't want nobody get in that portal and get stuck. Once you go in there, they don't have to keep your scholarship. That was the other thing that really tripped me out. They were like, not only the scholarship, they was like, well, your scholarship might be gone, next term, but some of the benefits that you get right now as a student could not be there. And so one of the things that they listed was some of the football players at I forget what school it was, they may not be eligible to still go to tutoring and study hall. And it was like, well, wait a minute, dang, just because I might not want to be here next year, you're not gonna help me keep my grades up right now. And
right.
so I thought that was interesting. And so it was just like, okay, the portal is a trip. And
Notre Dame lost KK. KK's in the portal from Notre Dame.
Okay, wow. Well,
yeah, KK, remember KK, Brad?
But that's okay though. That's okay though. That's okay.
Mm-hmm.
She needs to. I think that's a good move for KK because I don't know that there's enough room there for KK right now, right? So you got Hannah, you got Olivia coming back, you got Citron, and then you got Maddie, right? So Kiki maybe needs to go someplace else where she's gonna get some run. That's okay.
So KK,
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, KK is out. KK is out. Let's go back to transfer portal. Do you think that Oregon State, the big exodus out of there, what do you think caused that?
Is that Pac-12 falling apart?
Pac-12, the Pac-12 packing it up.
Yeah, they got to go play someplace else.
Right.
Okay. They playing for. I don't even know what the new conference is. I don't know what the NIL money look like there. He got
right.
You might got to rethink that. So I mean, at this point, it's just about mass exodus. It's protecting the brand. At this point, it is protecting the brand.
So okay, all right. You get to the second round, and you're at UNC. What happened? UNC, you have a mass exodus. You got Riley Gray, Deja Kelly, Tiani Key, Paulina Paris, and Anya Poole, Alexandra Zip. I mean, what's going on in Tar Heel country?
Seemed like that was the South Carolina effect. I mean, think about that, right? So you got South Carolina that just, we destroyed them. They played us tough the first time. I really believe my Laser for Wiley played Deja Kelly into the transfer portal. She played her into the transfer portal. I don't mean that in any disrespectful way, but I really feel like up until you hadn't heard anything about Deja Kelly not going to the draft or anything.
Right.
Everything was fine until they played South Carolina. That to me, that game made her have to rethink. Like, am I really ready? Like a freshman. This girl was playing in a high school gymnasium last year.
Right, exactly.
Got me looking suspect out here. Girl, she put her on the floor. There's a lot of things that happened for Deja.
That was the best. I'm laughing because I feel for Deja on that.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm not saying it as serious as I could, but like,
right,
because sometimes you got to laugh to keep from crying. But I was sad for her. Like,
you
hey,
were
like on your way to the.
Remember the cookie
you were
sandwiches?
on your way to the league. You were on your way to the W, and then you like, damn, am I good enough to even go overseas now? Like, hold on, like So when you have to have that type of reaction and that type of self, that self talk with yourself, I can understand why she would. But I also looked at North Carolina, and it was like, UNC could end up being, the third best team between the Carolinas. Like NC State, I think NC State will put a whooping on North Carolina with the talent that they got coming in next year and what I saw out of them this year if they're able to keep that stuff together.
Right.
You got South Carolina over there, so maybe you go someplace else. North Carolina, they're not winning nothing over there.
Right.
I don't think so.
Is that's what it is? No confidence in the coach, or it just kind of ran his course?
I think it's just the program. I think a lot of times people run to North Carolina because it was where Michael Jordan went. It had some mystique to it. Big name school, but what have they done for you lately? Not too much.
Right.
Not too much. So if you really want to be playing for, a national championship, that doesn't seem like it's going to have an opportunity to play for one yet. That's not a knock on them. They'll be around, but I don't see them competing for a national championship anytime soon. So
you correct. It's going to be tough. ACC is tough. It's tough. It's becoming tough. Going back to Deja Kelly, I'm laughing. It's not funny, but yeah, it looked like somebody stole her cookie sandwich. Remember cookie sandwiches, peanut butter?
Yeah, absolutely.
It looked like somebody sat her down, man. Like no juice for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I mean, and understand when I'm saying this,
Yeah.
I'm talking about this from a standpoint of it's not about her NIL money. They just stacked up. I think they just got the Tommy Hilfiger deal, didn't she?
If I'm not mistaken, I think that's
Yeah. So
correct.
I mean, like her NIL money is there, but if you're really a player, it's not about the NIL money. That's the cherry on top. So as just a player, when you look at what's in your bag and what you getting ready to go offer at the draft,
Right.
she had to go back and really and take stock of that. Like it might not be what I thought it was. And
That's
there's some
right.
things that I need to sharpen up. And so I would rather see her take the step back and jump in the transfer portal and get someplace where she can get the development maybe and the tape, if you will, to be able to show that her stock is back up. So it's people like Deja Kelly, Kateri Poole, Haley Van Lith, right? Who need some tape. We need to, if they're trying to get to the league, they need some tape that says like, hey, they're still viable for the league. So maybe you can corral some of them to a school together, like a Tennessee or not Kentucky anymore, because I think he'll be fine. But you try to put some of those, Kateri Poole is a national champion.
Right.
So, regardless of what you think about her, that experience is important in the locker room and knowing how to go get a national championship done, right? So I think that would be helpful. Haley Van Lith, good shooter. She can fit in some places.
No defense, so that's going to be a challenge. She's got to find a place that can hide her, that can work.
They hit her pretty good in Louisville. So, but if you're thinking like that, I'm thinking about the coach at Tennessee. Would you be able to bring a Haley in, a Kateri in,
yeah,
a Deja Kelly in, a Talia Smith in? Like, you think about some of these players that maybe will be able to.
Deja want to see Malaysia again. Regular season.
If she anything like Raven, she should. I mean, if you anything like a baller, you should. Like if you took my cookies, when I'm looking for you to get my cookies and your milk when I see you next time. You know what I mean? So like, if you're a competition,
that get back to mofo.
I mean, and it is, and that was the beauty of it all. And I think what's lost in it is that Raven, she did it unblemished. So it's nobody that can be like, I got Raven on this tour. Raven knocked everybody down on the way to get the one she wanted. You know what I mean? And so that's what I think is what's so dope about it is like, nobody can raise that. When they say who got Raven this year, nobody got Raven this year. So I appreciate that about her run this year. But yeah, they just should want to see Malaysia. She should be looking high and low for Malaysia.
That's right. You're right. Let's go ahead. Robbie said Gino is old school, and if you commit to him, he commits to you. His word is sacred. I imagine he gave his word to Strong that he'd be there until she left. Great point, Robbie. Or maybe until they win a championship. Helen of Troy said Arkansas lost 3 to the portal. Fam and Cess and Fam, did anybody here with Talia from Arkansas where she ended up where she start trying to land?
She signed already?
Yeah. I don't think I didn't hear it. I didn't see anything yet. I didn't know if anybody heard anything as of yet out there.
Oh, I'll take a look.
Donovan,
I haven't heard anything.
Donovan says when Kelly didn't get a freshman class at Tennessee, she was already on thin ice before the season began. Yes, because your measuring tool is your next recruiting class. You are correct. Political Lil, the SEC going to be lit. Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Don't forget, Donovan says, don't forget Texas and Oklahoma coming. I'm gonna put an asterisk about Oklahoma. I think Texas can transition with the style of SEC. I don't know if Oklahoma will be able to transition as fast. That's just my take on it. Just watching their style of coaching and how they played Indiana. Oklahoma had more of a Big Ten type of style of play, if you would say. So we'll see how they transition into the SEC's physical defense. And Oklahoma is coming from Big 12. Big 12 is similar to the Big Ten in play. It's a little similar.
Coach, if you don't mind, I see the comments coming about Deja Kelly. I know. No, one bad game doesn't make her a bad player.
What's up, MJ Lover? Yeah, go ahead.
What happened to her was she was exposed. It wasn't a bad game. She was exposed. Malaysia exposed her. She had to go. It wasn't like, oh, my shot is off. It wasn't like, oh, my defense is off. It was like, no, she was exposed. Malaysia helped her out. Malaysia showed her some things that she needed to work on from a defensive standpoint, from a scoring standpoint, from being able to keep up. So it it wasn't just to me. It wasn't just a bad game. It was she had been exposed and shown some weaknesses that she hadn't been, and some flaws in her game that she hadn't been able to see yet, but that would be glaring on the WNBA level. And so, yeah, that game was really good for her because it gave her an opportunity to see, oh yeah, I got some other work to do. So, I just wanted to make sure I threw that out there. I didn't think that it was just a bad game. I thought that she got exposed. That's different. That's different to me.
So there's some parts she didn't realize she had to work on it. I think that's a great point, Seth.
Yeah, I think so.
We got Harold Williams saying Coach Staley has a great book, movie coming, Dark is Before Dawn, and Dawn Staley story. I love it. Yeah. All right. MJ Lover was good. People need to understand a few things about Coach Dawn Staley. Her coaching success has been 16 years in the making. Great point. In the making. She didn't start out as a destination spot. That was years in the grinding. Great point. Tamika Holland, what's up? Fans, run the likes up. We got 99 in the chat. Run the likes up on
both. Run the likes up, yo.
Yep. MJ Lover back at it again. The other thing people need to know about Coach Staley, her players don't get injured as much because she doesn't play a ton of players more than 30 minutes a game. That's due to the depth that she brings. And that's smart because they played a lot of basketball, AAU and everything by the time they arrive to you.
Absolutely.
So I think Coach Yao would have been a good job I think so too. But as Cess said, I remember you sharing last week on one of your lives, Rocky Top wasn't ready for Coach Yo. So I remember that you saying that.
Oh no, could you imagine the Coach Yo press conference on Rocky Top? Oh, I'd have my popcorn out. I'm ready for Coach Yo. I'm ready for Coach Yo on Rocky Top. You hear me?
Right.
Coach Yo on Rocky Top? What? That's must-see TV. Look, Rocky Top ain't ready. Rocky Top ain't ready for Coach Yo yet. That's all I was saying.
Right.
I think she would be excellent up there, but a Coach Yo press conference? Coach, it would be outstanding. I would have to have my popcorn ready every time. Win, lose, or draw. I would be there for Coach Yo because I know she blow they wins back. They not ready for Coach Yo at Rocky Top.
Right. Yeah, great. Yeah, I think so, Coach Yo. I think Coach Yo would have the energy and the charisma and the X's and O's. And again, we just concerned about her recent pick and staff. That would be the only concern.
Okay, I have not done a deep dive on that. So when we were talking about it last night, they said some people said she did hire him, and then some people said she wasn't the person that hired him. So I wasn't clear on if she had the actual final say on that.
Input on that. It might have been a favor owed to him or something. Sometimes that happens.
I don't know if they were friends. Or, I'm curious. I just haven't had the time to really deep dive, so I don't know if you had a chance to take a look at it. Was she the actual person that signed off on the hire, or was it like, hey, coach, we got? Because I was under the impression that coaches are in charge of their own staff. You hire your staff,
right?
And maybe I'm assuming that from the pros, but I didn't think they showed up and say, hey. This is a 3-point shooting coach. This is a shooting coach. He work here now. I didn't think it worked like that. So at some point you have a meeting or a check-in or something where you see at least if y'all gonna be able to work together. So I don't know enough. I'm really interested to understand kind of a little bit more about what happened, how he got there, and if they are friends, what was it about your friendship that made it okay to hire him, regardless of the optics, right? Like if he didn't do what he was accused of, and he's been clear to all of that, then we should be able to pull it up and see that, and okay, he was accused of something and it wasn't true, right? But while we're still kind of not clear. I don't know how you pass your background. I don't know, because I almost feel like it was like did we rush him through before he wouldn't clear background? I just don't understand what exactly took place. Is there still some charges here? I don't know. Maybe somebody in the chat can enlighten me because I definitely am not sure.
Right. Fam, we got 113. Run those likes up. Where you enter the champion mentality today, where you be great in preparation and become excellent in your performance. Kai said here, Kai said here, she believed LSU fit Angel Brand. It's the same reason I can see her as a good fit for the LA Sparks. She should end up there, and we're going to get to that talk in a little bit. Well, a few more comments. Players may be able to make more money in the NIL section of college, but in the long run, players at SC will still make good money over the long haul. And I think, yeah, I agree. That's because Coach Dawn Staley invests and kind of guides them. And I think in one of her interviews this past week, and she said, I take care of them as if I birthed them. I remember that's her in her words. So I think that plays a little bit different. SC is stacked like two teams, but MJ Lover made a good point. But they built from the ground up. It was a program. It's a process to that. So Robbie is asking Cess, do you think Moki could ever take a step back?
Yeah, I think that Moki could take a step back.
Everybody say it's the Monkey Show when you go down there. That's the talk. It's the fashion, the flair.
Well, and the reason. Okay, so here's the thing. The reason I think that Moki would be able to take a step back is because I think LSU is LSU, right? And I understand that. I understand that Moki bought a championship to them, but I still think the LSU brand itself is still the biggest thing in Baton Rouge, right? It's LSU. LSU is bigger than Kim Moki to me. And so one natty, that's good within your. I think was it one in her second year, so she's had one in her first three. But if she doesn't get another one in 3, it's gonna be like hey Kim, it's not gonna just be your way or the highway. I is what I think about LSU, but that's me making that statement from the peanut gallery. I don't get in LSU business, but I think I think that at some point LSU would demand, that they want to get back to that winning mentality. And if she's the person in the way, then she would have to take a step back. But I also think that the way that young people are able to move around with the NILs and the transfer portal at some point, all of these coaches are going to have to come around to the fact that like you're going to have to meet these kids in a different way, in a different space,
right,
and give them some a different type of respect. It ain't kind of just like do what I say because I'm the coach, and it's more about guiding and helping them grow than it is about do what I'm telling you. And so I think if she wants to be able to stay to continue to be able to connect with kids, even like Flau'jae, even though I keep saying I think that she should leave, they tell me she won't because she loves Kim to death. So I think that if she wants to stay in the business, everybody's gonna have to change.
That's right. So that's a great point. Appreciate your take on that. Lejeune says he's concerned about some of these kids in the portal going to end up paying for college because sometimes it's just not enough places to go or good fits or good situations. The grass was not greener on the other side. It was dirt.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So right now, let's look at this. Betancourt, UConn, Big East. Betancourt transfer out. DeBerry out.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think because that was just they didn't see playing time, they didn't see it fit in, or
that's the strong effect?
Strong effect.
That's the strong effect.
Cut those minutes before she stepped there.
I don't want to put that. I don't want to put that just all on strong, but I mean you got to think about when you think about they had 70 points on the bench in sweats, right? And we still didn't play. I still didn't play. It was 70. It was 70 points on the bench that you couldn't use. It was hurt people. How many people they had hurt? 9, 5, 6, 7. However many it was.
Five players.
Okay, it was 5 hurt players. This is almost like the Kim Moki situation. This is almost like being down 45. It's 5 people hurt, and on a team of 12, and I still can't get no run. Coach, and now I'm thinking about Sarah Strong is coming, and these 5 people that were hurt on the bench are coming back. What are the chances that my playing time is coming? You got to make the best decision for me. So I think, I think it's that. I don't think it's Gino or anything like that. It's just that the minutes aren't going to be there, based on the players that you got coming back, and then the Sarah Strong effect.
Okay. At North Carolina, they signed a grad transfer. Okay, UNC Grace Townsend, 5'5" senior point guard from Midlothian, Virginia. So I don't know if that's going to solve any of their losses. We'll see, but we'll see. Um, so you have those out. Kentucky has, we know they left Kentucky because Elsie's gone, and Kenny was, like you already said, he was bringing in some good leftovers from
Yeah, I mean, Kenny bought his luggage, just Louis.
Yeah. So I mean, which would smart coach wouldn't, you know? I think that was just wise. Did Arizona? Let's go back to the Arizona gets Paulina Paris from North Carolina.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that?
I said Arizona. Paulina Paris from University of North Carolina.
Oh, that's good for Arizona. Anytime anybody's that Arizona could get. Listen, I feel like Arizona and TCU, if I remember correctly, both had really good starts to the season. And then they got to a point where injuries, more than anything else, kind of derailed what they had going on. So if they can get some more bodies in there to be for depth, and then also kind of improve their strength and conditioning, I don't know if their trainers can go get certified by Molly Benetti or whatever, but
right.
They maybe can do some things at those programs. I don't think that they were really far off. They weren't trash programs. They were just hit with injury bugs that made them have to, have volleyball players and walk-ons finish off the season. But I think those might be viable programs. So if they could get some good pieces that they'll be able to rely on, especially like grad transfers who coming out of Ivy League and stuff like that, who aren't able to just play in the Ivy League, but are going to be good, smart players that probably are great kids that you won't have any issues out of. I don't think that they can't lose with that.
Right. Spoiled Brat says, I saw a lot of people in the portal have ended up committing to D2, D3 schools coming from D1. And then also you have NAIA out there too as an opportunity.
Well, that's not a bad option. That's not a bad choice. I mean, if you're good, they're gonna come see you, whether you D1, D2, D3, or playing at the park. You know what I mean? Like they're gonna find the talent, but I would rather see these kids continue to use their body to get an education that's gonna allow them to, have a background to fall on that allows them to have a career and not a job, right? So and to be able to use their bodies to be able to get that done in the cheapest manner possible. So if that means going and playing, at a D2 or D3 school, I know the scholarships are different, but the scholarships, the way they work are different on those levels, but they have an opportunity to still, I think, not have to fully foot the bill for their education.
Harold Williams, portal is turning into the black hole.
Very concerned, Harold.
Good point. Good job.
What up, Harold?
Yeah. So here we have it, the transfer. Did you have anything else, family? If you have any new updates and news, one of your favorite teams that you follow, put it in the chat on the transfer portal. I mean, that's really the main.
I did see somebody saying, where we keeping up with the portal? Did anybody have a good link?
Yeah, I have the I put it in the chat here.
Because I've been watching pretty much on like nexthoops.com.
Yeah, the next, you do the next.
The nexthoops.com, yeah.
Yeah. Then I have another one here that's really laid out. I put it in there for the fam.
Officer T. Davis, Tamika Holland, MJ Lover, what's good? I seen y'all say what's up earlier. I didn't get a chance to speak. What's good, family? I appreciate y'all showing up and showing out. What's happening? Okay, now, MJ Lover need the portal link. Okay.
You say you need the portal link?
Mm-hmm.
I think Donovan says, I feel many of these players think the grass would be greener if they left, but their situation might be worse. That's what happens when you kind of take in your own hand and the bad. I get it. Great point. I mean, if
I I also think that these kids
sir.
rush into. Also think that these kids maybe sometimes rush into signing with these schools based on the NIL, and then you just sign based on the money, and you ain't even been down there to see the city. You ain't been down there to even really to see the facilities. You haven't even really visited the school. Something happens, you get down there and you get hurt, right?
Right.
God forbid, but now you got to be here. You got to be in this city. You got to live here. You got to be on this campus. You got to be in this area. Do you like it here, or did you come here because the NIL looked good? And so,
right.
So I think sometimes the money looks so good. And now you down here in West Bumble, you ain't want to be there. You ain't even like it down there. You know what I mean? So I think sometimes I look at like a Sarah Strong. I'm glad that she took her time. It was longer than we wanted her to take, but I'm glad she took her time, and I think she made the best decision for her. So I just think sometimes they rush into these decisions based on NIL money instead of like fit, strength of development, how their game will grow,
right.
What their major is, and all of those other things that really make college what it is. So that's just my 2 cents.
Okay, so that's what we have in the portal. There's really not much shaking. Let's go to the SEC. I would say I think Mizzou, Vanderbilt, Florida's on the fence. I think those are the teams that are in trouble if they don't do something fast. What's your thoughts, Cess?
Mizzou, maybe. Who else did you say?
Vanderbilt.
Vanderbilt's always on the fence to me. I'm never really impressed with it. Florida, I'm not sure. So Florida, you got not mine, but the SEC 6th player of the year there.
Right.
That's not taking anything away from Leilani. Is it Serrato? I don't remember her last name. That's not taking anything away from her. But then I think you also have 2 McDonald's All-Americans coming into Florida, right? So you got Mira O'Neal and I can't think of the other young lady's name. Be coming into Florida. So I think Florida is attractive. I can't remember. For some reason, I think Chloe Kitt's sister is playing someplace in Florida, but I don't know if it's at University of Florida or Florida State.
Okay.
But Florida, not so much of the fits for me right now. I'm waiting to see with 2 McDonald's All-Americans coming in there with the player that was named the sixth player of the year. I'm interested to see what Florida does next year. Vanderbilt, the other 2, I don't expect them to make a lot of noise, especially not with Texas coming in there. I'm not really familiar a whole lot with Oklahoma, so I don't know what to really expect out of Oklahoma. But I do expect Texas to make a lot of noise, and so Vanderbilt better get it together. Because I wonder if the SEC will be looking at saying, maybe some of y'all don't need to be here.
Right.
Maybe some of y'all need to go be in the ACC or somewhere else, just because the SEC is turning into a real monster of a conference.
Exactly.
A real monster of a conference. So
exactly. So
okay, they did say that Little Grits Kits is going to Florida with Shaq's daughter. Okay.
Little Grits.
Yeah, little kids. They said Chloe Kitt's sister is going to Florida. I don't even know if she's small like that. Why you call her Little Grits Kids, Donovan?
I love that nickname,
Grits.
though. I love that nickname.
Little Grits.
Yeah, Teddy, I think you're right. There was a power struggle with Angel and Kim. Great point. I think that's natural. That happens when you have star power like that. You have a star power in the coach. You have a star power in the player. And the personalities are similar. You have alpha personalities. That's going to happen. Either they work it out or she gets to move on.
But I don't think Kim doesn't get a national title without Angel. That national championship doesn't happen for them without Angel. And so, I don't know if they're gonna build her a statue out there or not, but they should.
They should.
They don't get one without her. So
yep.
I'll say that. And I mean to say, like, it's been some. I had forgot about the names that came through there: Simone Augustus, Sylvia Fowles. Like, it wasn't like, they just hadn't had any talents there, but.
Right.
It took Angel Reese.
Right. Bobby's talking about Oregon State is in limbo because they're playing the WCC West Coast Conference next 2 years. They'll probably try to develop a conference with a mix of teams from Mountain West and WAC. I think you're right, Robbie. It's interesting to see that because in the WAC you have UNM, New Mexico, and a few other teams. So that'll be interesting to see how that folds. I think that's a 2-3 year process within that. Political Lil says Reese and Flage were team captains once they butted heads. Reese saw who were Kim favorites, and it wasn't Reese.
Well, here's the other thing. Kim would be a damn fool if she put her allegiance with Angel. Angel was there for 2 years. Flage finna be here 4 years. She had to go. She had to go. Who was gonna be there? So I get why. I get why I think Kim. But I also think that from what I've been seeing and learning from the chat, that Kim has a real a deep respect and affection for Flage. So it's that too. But I also just think that like this is who I'm hitching my wagon to her because she's finna be here the longest. Angel, you 2 years here maybe, and you don't even have to be. But Flage, I told her she could rap, so I think she's here to stay. So I think it had more to do with some of that played into it.
Right. Yeah, I agree with you. Flage is going to be there 4 years. I think she's going to have success. I think she's going to have a WNBA game. She's really developed. You see it clicking when you see her play. You see it having those moments. When I watch her play, I see her have those moments where her court vision expands and her IQ grows right in that game. When I watch Flage plays, I see where she just grows matures right in front of you in that game. It's something it's just something about
her. Big Four is her. Big Four is her. She is her game is being stunted right now at LSU, and I would say maybe it's because they say Kim likes to run through her bigs, but it's almost like she got a Lamborghini and she's driving it she's driving it just on the regular street. Hey, honey, push the gas.
Right.
You got something go real fast right there. If you gonna turn it loose, it's like she don't know what she got or something, or she's scared to hit the gas. Put your seatbelt on and go for this ride. Like Big Four is her. She'll take you somewhere. I'm telling you, she'll be sad if she don't. I think.
Right. MJ Love was talking about how UNC coach was boasting about her team and they got that smoke. Now the team smoked her. Basically, MJ Lover. They left her out to dry. That woman's job is in jeopardy. I'm sorry to say that coach's job is in jeopardy. When you have an exit like that, it's extra eyes on you on campus as a coach. I mean, it's just the nature of the coaching business. What do you think, Cess?
Oh yeah, I think it's just the nature of the business. I'd agree with that.
Jonathan's talking about the WCC, where Washington State and Oregon State will be for the next few years. Gonzaga plays in that, but Ching is out. You talking about that? Do we find a home for it? Is that who left Gonzaga?
I don't know who left Gonzaga. Right? Ching left Princeton, didn't she?
Princeton. Ching left Princeton.
Ching left Princeton.
But didn't they have somebody leave going to support it from Gonzaga? I thought. Family help me out. I got to double check that.
That could be y'all fam. Y'all know I don't remember nothing about Gonzaga. Y'all know I don't remember nothing about that. And no disrespect to Gonzaga. They got a good team. I can't keep up with them. Let me see what I see.
Right. Shante, Michelle, good point. Those players don't believe in the coach. I know you was hollering at somebody else, but I think that is a great point to mention. They don't believe. Got to believe. You got to be willing to build something for it to happen. If you build it, they will come. My question with everybody in the portal, will everyone get a spot? Hell to the no. No. That's just the way it goes. Say la vie. Right, Cess?
Yeah, everybody's not going to get no home.
Yep. Thank you, Ty, for asking that question.
Enter at your own risk.
The Jordan deal, Dage's NIL deal is fine. I agree. She's stacked. She'll be fine. SMU, third ward report. SMU is about to enter the ACC deep pockets with the program. Okay. I think it's going to be a transition period there, though, for her. I think they're going to have to catch that smoke, though.
Okay. Oh.
I could be wrong, but it depends how they go about building it. It all depends on how you go about building your finance with the NIL and all that. It all depends who you put in staff on that side to work the NIL and the branding for you and how much you invest in that. So, Maryland always has a lot of turnover. Well, Brenda Freeze really hasn't bought it to the NIL, I believe. I think that's what you see. She's still trying to hold on to yesterday. What's the song say? It's so hard to say goodbye to
Oh yeah,
yesterday.
so hard. How
but
do I?
if you want to hold on, you're gonna be holding on to an unemployment check, right?
Hey, you can be holding on to something.
As the
Unemployment
program,
check,
right? As the program
McDonald's job
turns.
application, something. Tamika said Angel can't get no statue. Tamika, she can't have no statue. If anybody get a statue at LSU, wouldn't it be Angel? No, Angel can't get no statue. Tamika said Angel.
I think Angel earned
Tamika
it.
said Angel can't. Tamika said Angel can't have no statue. She said we giving out statues like candy. No on Angel. She said hell no, Angel can't have no statue. Tamika, you giving Kim the statue?
Wow.
But so does Kim get the statue for LSU? Tell me who are they putting on the statue, Kim? I mean Tamika, who Kim get the statue? Who get because they're giving out a statue for the national championship. Who get it? That cracks me up. We said yeah, she said hell no. Okay. I'm with Tamika. You know, I go with the fam. Yeah, Coach, it's been real interesting the way the transfer portal is. I don't it's a big risk. It's a big risk for these kids. And I wonder if they realize it.
Right.
You know, I think this will be the first season that I really will pay attention to see how many of these young ladies actually really do get out of the portal and find some place to go.
Yeah, Teddy said Van Liff needs to go back to Louisville. They hit her well. Yeah, but on to the next one. You can't go back with that. No takebacks. Remember that? No takebacks.
Yeah, no takebacks. Okay, they said, oh, it took this long for Simone just got a statue. They said Angel wasn't there long enough. She was only there 2 years. No statue.
Who's Simone Augusta?
Yeah, Angel wasn't there long enough for a statue. We'll do like a probably like a Angel Day or something. Maybe something like that. Maybe we'll do something like that for her. They said no statue.
Angel Day.
We'll have Angel Reese Day at LSU or something, y'all. Okay.
Give her honorary street.
I don't even know if she's gonna get no street. I ain't gonna say no street now. They said she got him the championship, Tamika. So she don't get no champ. She don't get no statue.
She'll get it. She no statue. Oh man.
They bought the first one there. They bought the first one there, y'all.
Man,
Dawn got a street. Dawn got a street when she bought the championship, right? The Natty.
Yeah. She was on the street. Yeah, she moved different. She built different. She moved different.
I mean, Dawn got 2 streets.
All right. So let's go with I like this. Let's go into our WNBA talk. We talked about it, Porter. We've done all we can do this week. It's not too many big moves. It's just a lot of mid-majors moving some pieces, trying to move up their, would you say, their stock and their mid-major holds. I got to go back to something you said. I'm tired of looking at the playing games and men and women. Like, what is that? I know it's the revenue thing. Get your money, get beat, leave. But it's bad. It's bad basketball, right? Those first 2 rounds.
Well, I think it's I think we see it at all levels now. The NBA has some bad basketball at playing games too sometimes.
Yeah.
I think I'm harsh. I'm harsh during the tournament because I don't want to watch all those snoozers.
Right.
But so I'm really torn. During the games, I'm like, cut this mess off. But when I step back and I think about the experiences that those teams had, just Sacred Heart and the Blue Hose,
right,
being able to play against us, and those ladies being able to have the opportunity to meet a Dawn Staley, to spend that time with Dawn Staley, to be able to take that trip, to be able to go through all of those things, what that means for them, just as an experience in life. I wouldn't want to take that from a young person, really. But do I really want to watch those bad games? Hell no. but I'm willing to suffer through it, for those kids to be able to have that experience. Like they played their hearts out at schools that will probably never play for a national championship in our lifestyle, in our lifetime, right? But they played good enough basketball to win at the level they were on, and that that's the rules of D1. So, for the experience that it gives them, I love that for them. But for the snoozers that it makes me have to watch during the tournament, I could do without it. Maybe live stream those games somewhere else. They don't have to be major nighttime games. They could be a noontime game. Let us know what happened. But I get it. I wouldn't want to take that opportunity from them for real, because that's that's life altering. You had the opportunity to meet Don Staley, talk with Don Staley, travel, meet some players, see some players. I don't know if they were wanted to meet Angel or Raven or whatever it was. They got a chance. They're one of few that are walking around and say, what I mean. I played in an NCAA tournament, so that's a heck of a thing to be able to say. So I wouldn't take it from them, but yeah, I hate those games.
All right, so we talked about just visit with that. Appreciate your take on the tournament. We know it's like a almost a necessity for those schools. Speaking of blue holes, that coach took the job at Appalachian State. So
okay,
she left Presbyterian and she took the job at Appalachian State. So
now I wonder is she gonna take any of the blue holes with her, or
you had me weak when you were saying that. It was so funny. The blue hose, but then somebody said it was originally the blue socks, the pants.
Yeah,
we'll see. I'm sure she'll have a few that will go with her over to Appalachian State and see how the success you have. Now here we go. We just finished this, and now we have a short turnaround for WNBA selecting talents. And out of Maryland, you got Renee Alexander out of Maryland. This is just alphabetical. Mississippi State has Erin Barnum. She was pretty effective, right? Another Mississippi State, Jessica Carter. Not saying she's going to the first round. Just you got a lot of SEC is in declared for the draft. So, but let's talk about our major players, right? In alphabetical order, I go down the list with the last name B. You have Brink. You think Brink drops to 7 and 10? I think you mentioned Cameron Brink because she just got bodied in the game she got beat by, right? They just no factor, right?
Yeah. So here's the thing. Honestly, I think the Cameron Brink probably stays on the West Coast.
Okay.
When I think about Cameron Brink, could I see Cameron Brink in Atlanta? Not really. She don't seem like a Georgia Peach to me. New York Liberty, she don't really seem like a Manhattan type of girl. Connecticut, get too cold up there. Dallas, she definitely not a Dallas Fort Worth type of girl. Chi-Town, not a Chi-Town type of girl. Maybe Minnesota, but I don't think so. Maybe Washington, but I'd hate that for her. So yeah, we right back at Los Angeles. I don't see her in Indiana. So yeah, I think that she ends up in Los Angeles. I don't know that that's based on. I wouldn't say that those picks are based on who has the best talent though.
Right. Okay.
So I don't think that the way that the draft is going, I wouldn't say that is equivalent to skill set and ranking of the players. I think it's going to go by what fits their brand,
right?
Because quite frankly, right now, getting butts in the seats,
right,
is probably even more important to the WNBA than the quality of the product that they're putting on the floor, because they have to be pretty happy with the quality of the product that they've been putting on the floor. It's been some pretty good games here lately, but now it's about being able to grow the sport, get more eyes on it. So at this point, it's about brand first, and I think she fits very well in LA.
Okay,
she's got that West Coast look. I'm not gonna hold nobody up. She's got the LA Barbie look.
Right. Vegan.
vegan, vegan. You know what I mean?
Right.
She's got the look. She's got the look.
Right.
She's got the LA. She looks like a spark. You know what I mean?
Right.
And even though I would rather see like a Rakia or maybe an Angel or Rakia paired with a Camila Cardoso, I think we end up with Cardoso and Cameron Brink paired together in LA.
Right. Okay. So we talked about it before. Before this, I just wanted to acknowledge Tara Vanderveer deserves a statue. I agree. As a pillar, she's one of the pioneers and travel. So I agree with that. We're moving on. Not your 6th woman of the year, but SEC 6 Leilani Correa, Florida declared for the draft. Do you think she gets a
going to the draft? Okay.
She's opting for consideration, so she's not fully committed. So she's opting for consideration for Italy.
I think it's a good. I think it's a good move for her to see if she would be drafted. I just think that there's a lot of talent out there.
Okay.
I don't know that I see Leilani being picked up. I thought she had one more year. I was hoping I thought she had another year to be able to kind of develop. So.
Michaela Daniels from Arkansas. Do you think she should have declared?
From the little that I saw from Arkansas, I would have to say no.
Okay.
I think that there was some more development that needed to be done there, and I mean, I guess that's. And then maybe that's what I feel like kind of is missing that opportunity for players to be able to kind of develop here,
right?
Versus having to try to go overseas and develop or play in Athletes Unlimited or stuff like that. I just don't think. I just don't think that the players that you named, and I'm just being honest, there's 144 spots in the WNBA. They should be filled by the baddest players out there.
Right, right.
And unfortunately, I would say that's not even the case right now. That there's some players in the W that don't need to be there.
You said don't need to be in the WNBA. That's there right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you 100%. What's your top? So let's talk about that. What's your top 10?
In the draft?
Yeah. Right now, here's the mocks in the draft. Indiana Fever, Caitlin Clark at 1. Just say potentially now from what Camilla has done, she can go 2 to LA and Cameron 4. It'll be a flip there. Cameron goes 4 to the Sparks.
I would like to see that just because I would like to see Camilla go too. I'm just now I'm just being biased.
Right. Rakia predictions or possibilities. Rakia Jackson 3 to the Chicago Sky.
I think that's I like that for Rakia. I like it for Rakia because number one, she's regional to Tennessee where she just played. So they'll be able to come visit, and then she's regional to home, Detroit. So people will be able to come and support her from home in Chicago. And the fact that that's Teaspoon there with Rakia, I think she's in good hands, and I'm interested to see how Teresa uses Rakia and how she tries to I think build around her. Chicago kind of cleaned house. They had a fire sale over the summer, so
okay.
I think that now we're going to see now what does Teresa build, and I think it starts with Rakia Jackson.
Right. So you got, and so they possibly Dallas Wings. I don't think that's a good brand fit. Dallas Wings, if she was to go that rate, 5 Angel Reese to the Wings.
I actually don't mind Angel in Dallas with Agumawale and Satu.
Okay. So you think?
I think that
for her, skill set wise, it'd be a good fit for Reese.
I think that it could be a good fit for her skill wise because I think that she could come on they could bring her on a little bit slower. She wouldn't have to come on and make an impact right away. Like Dallas was in for Dallas to be picking 5, and they were like in the Western Conference Finals last year, picking up a player like Andrew Reese could give them a boost if she's able to step in and add the things that she needs to add to her game. You know, like that mid range, being her unorthodox way that she rebounds. She has a nose for the ball. She's a walking double. Regardless of what you think about her, she's a walking double.
Right. I want to acknowledge the fam with their contributions here in the chat. Country Notary, stop and pause for a moment and to acknowledge our fams. Many of these athletes are obviously young, impulsive, and are chasing money or gain without making a full assessment of what their goals and purpose is. Transferring has pros and cons. Great point. Bottom of the bottle. It's good that those smaller teams get eyes on them. Also, that's what March Madness is about, the unknown and the possible upset factor.
Yep.
Yeah, they got to get, you said smaller schools got to get the bag too, right? Bottom of the bottle.
Absolutely.
I agree. Also, we're looking at moving on. We're going to focus. I just want to acknowledge some great chats there. Appreciate you. Keep it coming. Also, 105, run up the likes. Make sure you hit the sub on the Champion Mentality. YouTube, I come to you once a week with some reviews. We're about to get into WNBA season, and still we're going to be paying attention to portal combat, the meaning transfer, fighting for your life in that transfer portal. That's what you're doing. You're fighting for your life, for your next step. You remember that you got to fight for your rights.
you got to fight for your right. You know what I mean? To play, basically.
Yeah. So moving back here to WNBA, Cess, they're looking at potentially Aaliyah Edwards going to the Washington Mystics, number 6 pick.
That's tough. That's tough.
That's tough.
That's tough because I feel like Aaliyah Edwards is coming from a program that was all about winning, even though they didn't hit that mark. I think it could be a little frustrating to be back in Washington. I feel like Washington is going to be kind of rebuilding.
Right.
I don't know that they have a lot in Washington right now to put around her. But at least she could come in and bring a winning way, a winning attitude, a standard, a work ethic that they can maybe build on. But I'm not really impressed with the Washington Mystics at all.
Right.
Yeah. Because that was Deladon over there, right?
Yeah. At one point.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
she finished at University of Delaware, and then came in.
I hate that she ends up in Washington.
Right. So that's a possibility. Then you have the Australian Nadu Puya. I don't know. I butchered their name up to the Lynx. I think they've been having their eye on that for that's not anything sporadic. That's just a direction they want to go. And number 7, then it will come back to 8, JC Sheldon.
That one was a shocker to me.
To Chicago Sky.
That one was a shocker to me.
JC, I thought she would get picked later on in the.
I was like, JC Sheldon is top 10.
10, yeah.
Top 10. JC Sheldon is top 10. That one was a shocker to me. I gotta go back and really watch JC Sheldon's game. I think JC's a shooter. I felt like Ohio State didn't close the deal in some games that they should have, but that might have been more about Cody McMahon than it was JC Sheldon. But JC Sheldon, top 10, that one got me. That one raised my eyebrows right there.
Right. We're gonna stop. So that's at the. We're gonna stop right there at the 8th seed, and we'll come back and finish. We'll show some love to the fams here. Kel said, "Remember when the 16th seed Harvard beat number 1 seed Stanford? True. Even if they had some short roster, but they still beat them. They still got a ranked win. Kentucky,
and I'm okay, man. But I'm okay with the 16 though. The 16, it's the play-in.
Right.
Them other ones to figure out who the 16 is. Like, come on, y'all. Let's
to figure out who the true 16. Kentucky Lucky says those early games bring money to the local university that holds it. makes money off them. So yeah, I get it. We get it. When you just talking about the double 16s and the double 10s and that's what you're saying.
I complain about them, but I know that they're a necessity, and I wouldn't want to take, like I said, I wouldn't want to take that experience from those schools.
Okay, wait a minute. So we have some fun fact. Kels said originally the blue pantyhose from the Presbyterian.
Kels. Hey, the fam's always teaching me something.
TD's talking about looks like UConn Ozzie Flood will enter the portal.
Really? Flood is going in the portal. No, that's shocking because I thought Paige came back to play with Flood. So I'm surprised at that to see her best friend go.
But I gotta come back to Country Notary here. Hopefully, current examples of bad transfer decisions will build enough data for future kids to assess and make more informed decisions. I mean, who's the dragon? Showing up. Who's the master? Right? I mean, you have to control your destiny. That's what they're doing. Because before, when you committed to someone in the old NCAA rules, it was hard for you to get out, and so now they got the power to stay or leave, and it's on them. Essentially, they're young adults.
But I also don't think that it's not enough for the bad. That we don't hear enough about the bad transfer decisions. We don't hear enough about them for kids to really understand how people get messed up in the portal.
And they end up at JUCO or D3 or D nothing.
JUCO, gap year, overseas,
right?
Back at their local high school, working out, all kind of crazy stuff. So,
okay, that's where we have. So we go back to here. We just took a moment of family identification here on the chat. I acknowledge some of the chats. We go back here. We left off at AC. The 9th pick would be the Dallas Wings, and they're looking at Peely. I like that pick. I think she's a stretch in the NBA. She's not because she can handle the ball a little bit. I think she's got to lean up, and she has a touch from 12 or 15 feet. But what's your take on Peely? I like Peely's game. It's different. It hits different.
So the thing I like Peely's game, but I wonder because I also thought that the Wings were looking at somebody out of France or something, right? So
yeah,
I thought that I also read that Dallas is only going to be able to keep one of their first round picks from the 2024 team, right? So
freeway.
If they're taking JC Sheldon at 5 and then they take Peely at 9, but they only are really going to have room for one of their first round picks, where would that leave Peely? Because they probably would keep the shooter. So, those are the type of situations that are frustrating for me. Like Dallas is going to pick twice in the first round. These ladies are going to get picked up knowing that only one of them are going to be able to stick. So,
right. We got Helen of Troy saying that she's got to update a possible pick or mock draft that Camilla and Angel go to Chicago together. That happens, it will definitely be in the house. I really want Rakia. I think Rakia is the pro ready. I really do. I think she's pro ready. She's put the time in and still putting the work in. I agree. So we go to so that's a great take, Cess, on Peely. You go to number 10. Possible pick will be Connecticut Sun, Lila Lacan from Pau, France. And feel like she's 5'11", feel like she could be an immediate impact. Elisa Peely, I'm going to go back. Elisa Peely is 6'10". The reason, let's go back to J.C. Sheldon. The reason I'm shocked by J.C. Sheldon, she's 5'10".
She's the shooting
guard. And I'm like, I feel like the guards are getting taller. The point gods, right? As they say, the point gods. But
so I think they're calling her not a natural guard, but a two-way guard who can play next to Gumbawale. Okay. And I think what they really want to do is kind of get the ball out of Gumbawale's hands. Because they say I hear people complain all the time that she shoots too much. So JC Sheldon gives you some knockdown perimeter shooting. You got some tall people on the inside, and Dallas should be able to kick out to them. 5'10", but she also brings some defense too.
Right. Right.
So
I give you that.
could be a good pickup, but at the same time, like I said, it's gonna come down. I think it'll come down to who works the hardest between. I guess that would be Sheldon and Peely for
Right.
who they keep.
Right. And so, New York Liberty, Isabel Borlise from Australia, 5'11" guard. It'd be a work in progress from overseas. Number 12, ATL. Dream, Charisma Osborne from UCLA, 5'9" guard. Charisma, you think she's got it to stick? Charisma from
No, it's hard for me.
UCLA.
It's hard. So I think that Charisma is a good ball player. I didn't watch enough UCLA really to make a decision, but every time I saw UCLA play, they lost.
Right.
So
right.
I don't have a I guess she could knock down some threes.
Right. Yeah.
And defend. I'm thinking now who's that in Atlanta? Is that Howard?
Ryan Howard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I guess Ryan needs some help. That would be some help for Ryan.
Yeah. Ryan Howard. Right. We need some help. Okay. Let's talk about some.
I don't know. I would.
You would try to.
I would take a look at some other players.
I agree. I agree with you.
I will see what else. I will see what else is out there.
I agree with you. Here we go. Let's talk about Jessica Carter from Mississippi State. Possibly Phoenix Mercury will pick her at number 14th pick, and then Elizabeth Kitley would go 15th pick if it's a workout back to the Dream. So you will have a SEC and an ACC coming out right behind, possibly if it unfolded like that. That's a possibility.
You said who before Kitley?
Jessica Carter before Kitley.
Jessica Carter. Is she going to where?
She could go to Phoenix. They could pick her at number 14.
I don't know. Mississippi State.
Hallie Jones, right? Kels. Hallie Jones is in ATL. Good point.
Jessica Carter. I don't know. I'm gonna be honest, Coach. I see a lot of these players getting drafted, but I don't know that they really have the games that stick at the WNBA level right now. Right? None of these players, especially as we're getting later into the round, are jumping off the page at me as like, yeah, I could see them in a WNBA uniform next year.
Right.
I'm just being honest.
So yeah, good point. So we'll wrap it up here. Here's another name: Leilani Correa could possibly get picked up in 16th pick by Las Vegas. Nika Mule from University of Connecticut might possibly get picked 17th pick. It's from Washington Mystics pick Nika Mule. I think she played good defense. Her shooting is streaky at times.
Yeah, streaky shooting, but then you would be putting Nika with who did we just say was in Washington?
You talking about who got picked from Washington?
Yeah, who did we just say would be going to
Leah
Washington?
Edwards, those two UConn players. Della Don,
I think the chat just reminded me. Della Don's sitting out. Della Don tried to get out of there.
Yeah, right.
And they wouldn't let her out. So Della Don is sitting out. And then those two players together, I mean, they both play very well within the, contained within themselves. But it's not like when you think about like a Cardoso with a Rickea Jackson, like, oh, okay, I can see something there. They don't jump off the page at me like that. Solid players, probably better role players someplace else than like starters. But if that's what you got to go with,
right. So LB says Alicia Gray is with ATL. Thank you, LB. MJ Lover feels like Elizabeth Kitley looks to be going in the second round. Is that because of the injury? I think
that's the injury. So Elizabeth Kitley, I think, has game. I think Elizabeth Kitley probably would have went first round if she'd have been healthy, especially if she'd have been healthy and been able to have a good showing in the tourney. I think that once she gets healthy, as long as she's still Elizabeth Kitley, then I think that she has a game that sticks.
Sparks have the number 2 and 4th pick. That is correct. That's what we talked about. So that's going to be interesting. What positions? I think they'll have to go for a big in the stretch, a solid, a true post in the
Mm-hmm.
stretch. That's what Sparks would. I think that would fit good for the Sparks. What's your take on that in between those two picks? Thank you, Elizabeth Anderson, for sharing that. Camilla should go as the number 2. Elizabeth Anderson.
So I think that they're gonna pick. They'll pick out, like we said. I think you're gonna see like a Cardoso, a Cardoso Brink matchup. A Cardoso. I would pick Rickea Jackson. The Cardoso Rickea Jackson matchup, and then if it's Chicago, the only thing that I hate about Chicago is that if they take Rickea at 3, then that leaves. I don't see how Camilla is still there at 8. Like Minnesota wouldn't need her, Washington wouldn't need her, Dallas wouldn't need her.
Right.
LA wouldn't need her. So I don't know how. To me, Camilla's a top 3 player. She should be picked in the top 3 for me. But I definitely could see like the 2 and the 4, Brink and Cardoso, or Cardoso, Brink, something like that.
Right, and then you also don't forget Kiki Jefferson from Louisville could get picked up by the Sparks, possibly. Celeste Taylor from Ohio State might get picked.
Ohio State too. They were kind of up and down. Like again, right. I don't want to take anything away from these ladies. They may be able to go and develop, but when I think about the ladies that I'm looking at over the next few years that I think are like for sure shot WNBA players, these ladies aren't jumping off the page like that for me.
Right. So so that's where we're at. So one more player and we will wrap up tonight. We appreciate the fans and
absolutely.
Cess Talks Sports, and that's my dog in the back hacking around here. Ayoka Lee could possibly go 23rd pick, Chicago Sky. She's a true 6'6" center. She's a rim run. She can rim run a little bit. Ayoka Lee, I got to see her play in 2 games on TV as well, and she does run the floor and plays defense. I don't know if her foot. Here's the question: I don't know if her foot speed matches that on the WNBA level when she comes in. How that transition will be.
Well, if it does, then that's a really great look for Rickea Jackson to be coming into Chicago if she gets picked there to be playing with a 6'6" center. Just because it's not going to be too many ladies that are 6'6" and taller in the league. That's why Camilla's such a draw.
Right.
So that would be good for Rickea to end up with a big to play with.
Right.
I think she's solid. Like I said, there was a fire sale in Chicago, so
right.
They're filling in a lot of holes. So I think that that would be good to at least have a big somebody that she could kind of do an outside game or pick and roll, something like that.
So Kels said Lee is coming back for a 5th year, so her option back. Thank you.
Okay. All right, Kels, keep us straight.
Back to these basics. Said, what about Honesty Scott?
I don't know what Honesty did.
Right.
What is Honesty doing?
We haven't had a definite. I haven't heard anything definite, even on the side. I haven't seen anything definite. If you have it, fam, talk to us. Have you heard anything? If she declared to do what is Honesty Scott doing? I have not heard any news on her. So that's a great question. Thank you. Kentucky Lucky Mill is going back to Croatia to Europe to play because I love to watch play that defense again. We'll see. I think she might want to stay in the States. We'll see. I think her country is at war, so I don't know if that's something she wants to do. So that's a big question. So, man, it's been awesome. We were here once a month. Run those likes up. Tell your friends. I appreciate it. I'm Coach Coleman. This is Cess, your favorite auntie. I appreciate it.
Favorite auntie and Uncle Tennessee coach. Appreciate you having us on. Championship mentality. Glad to be able to support y'all. Run them likes up. Yeah. First time here, y'all hit that subscribe button for Coach.
Yeah, great. Before we leave, we got a motivational thought for everybody, and this is dedicated to Raven Johnson. Is using failure to succeed.
Using failure to succeed. Absolutely.
Raven Johnson used failure to succeed, and it was her motivation. She did not stop at what went wrong. She found out what she could do right, and then you have results if you stick with it. So, hey, family, we look to see you again. I'm going to be jumping. I'm looking to see what Cess and Coach Rowe have coming. You got one tomorrow night?
Yeah, I'm live tomorrow night. Cess Talks Sports tomorrow night
so
live. Yep.
Looking forward to that show. Remember,
the chat is saying that
ahead.
Scott is declared to the WNBA according back to the basics. And
okay,
they asked about, I think Marquisha Davis from Ole Miss is in the draft too.
She is. So. Marquisha, she committed. She has declared for the draft. Marquisha Davis.
Yeah, exactly. Lejeune Dixon failing forward. Go Raven.
Go Raven. So, all right. We've been on here for an hour and 45 minutes. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the talk. Remember, be great in your preparation and become excellent in your performance. We out.
Peace, y'all.
Peace.